Okay, class, today I am going to show you the skills necessary to be successful with 5.7.11. These skills, this is the actual spreadsheet for this assignment. So when you look at it and you look at this video, you'll be able to answer the questions. So what the questions wants us to do is find a sum if, average if, and count if for pumpkins, squash, and watermelons. So the very first one is total weight. So when we want to add a bunch of things together, that is called sum. And what we're doing now is, since we're looking at an array of data, so like all of this spreadsheet is not just about pumpkins, we have to signify to the spreadsheet all we're doing is looking for pumpkins. Since it's not all about squash, we have to tell the spreadsheet we only want to pull the data for squash, and the same for watermelon. So to do this, you're going to go equals sum if, open parentheses. All right, so now we're looking in our first category, column D, we are looking for pumpkins, all right? But our range is D5 through D14. So D5 through D14, comma. Now what are we looking for? Are we looking for pumpkins, watermelons, or squash? We're looking for pumpkins. So after you put your comma, it's a quotation mark. Type in pumpkin, quotation mark. I misspelled pumpkin. Quotation mark. Add a comma. And now we're looking for the weights, right? Because we're going to add the weight of the pumpkins together. And that is in cell column E. See this? All right, so here we're going to go E5 through E14. Got to make sure we close our parentheses. All right, before I hit enter, I'm going to show it to you. So you'll see sum if. We're looking for all the sum if. We're looking for pumpkins, the word pumpkin in D5 through D14. So in this range, we're looking for pumpkin. And then we're just looking for the pumpkin weight. All right. So we hit enter. And that means our pumpkin weight is 5161. I'm going to show you another way to do it for squash. Now, I don't know if Test Out grades it like this or not, but I'm just going to show you, I think it's an easier way. And but make sure you know how to do that first one. We're going to do the first one again for watermelon. All right, so now we want to see what squash, right? We want squash. So if you come to your function button here, click on your function button, and we're looking for sum if, and we're going to go. And you'll see these two pop up. So the first one is sum if, hit OK. And now we're looking for our range. Well, what's our range of data we want to start with? We want to see where all our squash are, right? So you click on this button, click and drag, go back to the dialog box. You see where it says criteria? Well, what are we looking for? We're looking for squash. So click on squash. And then go to our sum range. Go back to the box. So you'll see D5 through D14. D7 has squash, so that's what we're looking for. E5 through E14. We hit OK. You should have 814. That is how you do. I think it's easier, but they want you to know how to type it. So we're going to type up here. So let's do it one more time for watermelons. Equals sum if, open parentheses, D5 through D14, comma, watermelon, quotation marks, comma, E5 through E14, close parentheses, hit enter, and the watermelon total weight was 272. And if you want to see if it was 272, 78, 89, 105. That's 272. So you're going to do the same for each one of these, except here you're going to substitute the word sum if for average if, and you have to type out the whole word AVERAGE. Then when you get to the number of entries, it's like what we did the other day. Remember, one day we went count, and then we went count blank. So now we just want to know how many times we have pumpkins in there. So what you would do is you do the same thing. D5 through D14, pumpkin. E5 through E14, except for where it says sum if. All you do is put count if. So average if, count if, sum if. Okay, so question number 2 says, on the horse race sheet, create a formula in F5 that will return yes if the race time is less than or equal to the qualifying time. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a thing called an absolute reference. An absolute reference locks your cell, which means I want to know if each one of these times is either is it less than or equal to this time. If it is, we're putting a yes. If it's not, we're putting a no. Okay, because that means that here's a race, horse race, and if they don't beat this time, they don't get to go to the final race. So we have to know, is this less than or equal to this? So we're comparing all of our data to cell H5. All right, so we're going to put it in here. So make sure F5 is your active cell. We're going to go equals if, open parentheses. Now the first cell we're looking for is in E5. We want to make sure 2.29 is less than or equal to 221, right? So we're going to put E5. Now, we want to do the less than symbol. The less than symbol is down there close to your space bar, all right? And it's a caret, I call it a caret, that looks like this. That is less than. So we want less than or equal to. So all we do is just add our equal sign. So if you'll look here, if E5 is less than or equal to H5, right? All right, so now this is where the locked cell or the absolute reference comes in. So we have to add a dollar sign. So that could be Shift 4 on your keyboard. We want H, dollar sign, 5. If you'll see this, dollar sign H, dollar sign 5, that means we're always going to use H5. It's not changing once we copy and fill. Okay? So we want yes. If it is, no. If it's not. So if you'll see here on my screen tip, it says, what is the value if true? True comes first. Hope you can see that. True comes first. So this is our test. Then I value if it's true. If it's true, put the word yes in there. If it's not true, put the word no in.